Hey everybody, and happy new moon in Aries tonight, technically tomorrow. That means the sun and the moon are going to be together in Aries. Mercury's coming to join the party as well, but they're together in Aries right around, I want to say midnight to 1 a.m. tonight, so April 1st. And new moons are dark skies. It's an introverted time. It pulls us inward, and it's a time of deep and intense reflection. So I'm curious how you're experiencing it. Do you feel more of like this pull to go inward, or also, with so much Aries, there could be this drive to like start moving forward, to get things going. It's an initiation sign. So it's very much like the start, the birth, the something new. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's literally number one. And think of birth energy. Like if you thought of the zodiac cycle as a life cycle, that means Aries is literally the birth, and it's the grand entrance of our being here, and the passion and the excitement for being here in a body. It's also big leadership energy, and it's big independence and autonomy. It's bravery and courage, because it's literally, I think of the person with the machete that's like bushwhacking the trail and creating a new way. They do not follow the norm, and they're first in line. It's not even like they're rebelling against the norm. They're just like going their own fucking direction. It is fierce determination and big commitment to momentum and moving forward. My Aries sister, Alyssa, the other day, she said the most Aries statement. So I'm going to quote her really quick, because it's literally this energy of like, get out of my way or drop dead. Like Aries doesn't see obstacles in the same way that we all do. It's like, there's not a lot of patience with Aries, and basically Aries doesn't like to waste time, right? And it wants to keep moving forward. Think of like a person walking on New York City streets where you're like, how is that person walking at a running pace? Like they are moving. And so think about how you spend your time each day. How do you build momentum towards your goals? And ultimately, if you start to really take a good look into how you're spending each moment of your day. I was thinking about this the other day, is like the time that we spend is literally an investment of our energy. You're investing your energy. You're investing your life force. So what are you doing with it? Like really be honest with yourself. How are you investing your life force? And also ask yourself, what investments do you need to be making? What things do you feel called to do with your time that would put you on that, path towards success, but maybe you're not doing that. And, this could also come into a conversation. If you're curious, message me, because I'm not going to go deep into that, but it has to do with our values, and not just values in terms of what you think you value on a conscious level. It's working with someone who can help you tap in to the unconscious mind and really get in touch with your deeper level programming and the values that drive your motivation, and making sure that they're aligned with where you want to go. And so if you want to dive deeper into that, I love it. Send me a message and we can connect further on that. Getting back to the Aries, there is explosiveness here, like big explosiveness. There's this essence of needing to be unapologetically you. It's fierce, and it's standing in your truth, in your fire, in your drive. It's really what turns you on. It's ruled by Mars, the planet of motivation, of our sex drive, of the get up and go energy. It's asking the question, like, what stokes your inner fire? What are you passionate about? It's all about passion. Like, think of the brand new baby on the planet that comes in like a sponge and is just ready to take it all in. Or the toddler that you might know because they're yours, or you might have been this child that's the I'll do it myself energy. That's very Aries. And excuse my passion for a moment, but it's quite literally like wake the fuck up type energy. It's not necessarily like, doesn't have a kind tone to it, and it doesn't necessarily have ill intentions. It's literally just doesn't have time to sugarcoat anything. It's like, we've got places to go, come on. And it can share the inconvenient truth sometimes. Another lesson that really came up for me in and dropping in about this new moon post is all about competition. And this is really cool because Aries is the natural athlete. If you're an Aries, I know you're an athlete. I know you're competitive. Remember, Aries is number one. It likes to be first on the path, first in life. It loves to win. When I thought of this, it brought me back to my time as a competitive athlete and remembering that I felt like I had a pretty unique perspective on this because I could see the competition outside of myself, yes, and I could also be very much aware when I wasn't doing my best, we'll say. And honestly, sometimes I didn't need to do my best in order to win, which might seem like a blessing to some of you, but ultimately this was a fucking curse to me because in my excellence, because what it taught me to do was I didn't have to try as hard. I could lower my bar a little in order to still be number one. Here's the thing with competition. When we determine our own personal bar based on someone else's best, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to discover our own excellence and our greatest and highest potential. And motivation, if you think about motivation is your motivation's based on this person's best right here. Well then, if that's where your motivation is and you get to that point, let's say you get there, but by the time you get there, you actually have more potential to keep going because you haven't stopped yet. Like you're still breathing, you're still like maybe there's a little pain, but you can keep going. But because you reach that bar that you've set your motivation to, your motivation will start to decline and you will have missed the opportunity to see how much further you can go. Some words of wisdom from David Goggins is, and this is in regards to what I was talking about. So like, let's challenge ourselves to not, set our motivation and our sense of competition based on what's outside of us. Set your motivation to beat your last personal best and then do it again and again. And this is where I love David Goggins because he talks about how there's no fucking finish line. Like it doesn't end until the day you die. And I love that. And that is so Aries energy. If you think about running, right? And if you've ever been on a run or on some challenge where you're like, okay, I'll let myself break right up there. And you give yourself a point to break at. If you get to that point and you haven't collapsed yet, you can go further. Like, I'm trying to calm myself down, but I get excited about this because you can go further. You guys have maybe seen me in the ice water and like, I got to 4 minutes the other day in like 35-degree water and it was cool because I was like, well, I'm still breathing in here. My body's still calm. Okay, like my mind was saying get the fuck out, but my body was there and I found a new level of excellence that day. So challenge yourself. Another piece about discovering your excellence is a very key point with this Aries new moon. It's kind of revealing a part, like a shadow side of Aries in a way, and it has to do with the responsibility that Aries takes for itself. It's fully independent, and when you're independent, you have full responsibility of yourself. So I had a wise friend yesterday step in and share a metaphor. And it was this metaphor that I want to share in a moment because I love it and it relates to a very important question that someone had asked me years ago that completely, in an instant, launched me into empowerment and independence and had me reevaluate my entire life in a moment. And it changed everything. And it was, asked me just minutes before my first solo skydive, and it wasn't intended to change my whole life. It was just intended to prep me for this first jump. And that question was, do you trust yourself to save your own life today? Here's the thing, guys. If we don't get to that point, that question where we really need to ask that to ourselves, I don't know if we'll ever discover our excellence. I'm questioning that. And so I want to hear your thoughts on that, what that brings up for you. It was when I heard that I realized at that moment, no one is coming to save me. And it basically brought up this hard truth that I've been learning through situations my whole life where, it's time for me to take full responsibility and no one is here to save me. No one's going to help me along. And this is the high road of Aries. It's literally, okay, to jump into the metaphor from the wise friend yesterday. Think of this. Think of a person that's stranded kind of almost to the bottom of the ocean or a lake, and their feet are hovering just above the bottom. So not enough where they can actually push up and go get air, but they're sitting here and there's somebody who's tapped into their excellence, right? So they're able to push off the bottom, go up, get some oxygen, come back down, and they know how to do this. They know how to push up. And they go get the oxygen, and then they come down and they share it with this person. Now what they're doing is they're keeping this person just comfortable enough to hover over the bottom, to literally hover in a place where they're comfortable enough, where, yeah, sure, things aren't not at all close to their potential, but they also don't have any motivation to necessarily drop the little bit further than have the choice to push themselves up. If you have any play, if you're responsible for any part in this type of the metaphor, check in with yourself and step into the independence, step into the empowerment, because either one of those parties, even the one who's going up and down, that is not empowering. And imagine how much further that person can go without enabling the other person to be stuck there. So, hard lesson learned this week, but I'm grateful for that. And let me see here. What else do I want to share with you guys? Ultimately, Aries is the sign of independence. So there's a high road and a low road to each sign, right? And the low road with Aries is going to be dependence. It's playing the victim as if everything's happening to you. It's reactive energy. It's getting caught in fight or flight. It's pointing the finger outside, arguing, starting. Well, it doesn't really fight or flight. It just fights, right? So it can also be angry. But let's talk about anger for a minute, because anger can be a very powerful, motivational type of an energy if we understand where it's coming from and we use it as fuel for ourselves rather than to attack others. Keep in mind, anger is just a cover emotion for fear as well. So, and if we have connection to fear, it's literally like two sides of one coin. I'll just show you with this because I don't have a coin, but literally one and the same. So if we have fear on one side of the coin, on the other is love. And if you can access one, you can access the other. And so the way that we can convert this, I truly believe, is when you start taking the reflections of what you're seeing outside of yourself. This Aries energy can, bring about that pointing the finger and looking outside. And it's not until we turn it back in. Aries is a sign of me. The mantra that goes with it is I am. And it can be a little narcissistic. And the high road of this is literally, how can you take all of that focus on all of the things you see, on all of the judgments, turn it back on yourself so that you grow, so that the environment and the experiences around you can expand with you as you take these steps yourself. Like, you are the leaders. You're the leader. Whether you're an Aries or not, this Aries energy inspires you to get in touch with that part of yourself. You take the first step and stop waiting for something else to change outside of you to take that leap. So ultimately, the warrior that knows only I can save my own life. Do you believe that? Do you believe you can save your own life and really be the leader, be the director of your life? This is ultimately the energy of, to me, this is the energy of what coaching is to me. And it's a huge part of my purpose. I do have quite a bit of Aries in my chart. You might have heard the passion in this. But it's literally how I coach. And it's to pull people into their inner Aries, into their inner authority, authenticity, connection with their purpose, with who it is that they're being, so that they can access their inner power that will drive fulfilled and quality action. I have so much more to say on this that I might actually create another video pretty soon. But I'm going to wrap this up here. And I just want to say I love you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a beautiful new moon in Aries. If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
If this is to end in fire, then we shall all burn together. Watch the flames climb high into the